Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today for yet another Second Life lifestyle video on something that I find interesting or helpful in some type of way. For those who don't know me, my name is Sandra and I cover all things SL from shopping to decor to anything in between. And today I am going to be covering Second Life rules and if there's such a thing as having too many rules in a creative space like Second Life. I am doing a podcast style recording at this point. I just wanted to record some stuff and put it on YouTube and have it available. I am in between moving in real life and I do not have a normal setup for video filming in world in Second Life. So this is the way I have to do it right now. So yeah, but all of the discussion is going to be about Second Life, and let's go ahead and get started. Where the conversation started, where did I get the idea for this discussion? Well, I am part of a Discord channel that is for shopping in world in SL. What's on sale? What new designs have creators made? Are there any new brands out there I need to be aware of? Sometimes I will hit up the furry community just looking for unique items that I want to buy for my Avi. And that's pretty much what I use it for. I know that there's a lot of drama on Discord, and that is not what I'm there for. But Discord is a highly toxic environment from what I found. And a lot of times, even though I'm just there for, the most basic reasons, I'm just basically there to like look for items that I want for my Avi. But the toxic conversations happen just in the weirdest places at the weirdest times. A conversation started that kind of I don't know if I would use the word irritated me, but it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. So I wanted to talk about it. Some people on the Discord channel were discussing a toon head. It looks very much like an anime type head shape to me, with the large eyes and just the shape of the face and the lips. It reminds me very much of that anime, cartoon, fantasy type looking head. Some people were buying it. I wanted to go look at it myself. The issue with the toon head that was coming up among more people than I would have given credit for is that these people on this shopping channel on Discord started discussing that, oh, well, I think the toon head looks like something that should not be on SL because we all know SL is 18 plus. And, my thing with that is that, once we start like judging things like that, like a fantasy head, I think we have to be very careful. It's a slippery slope because SL is a creative platform. Fantasy and anything along the fantasy surreal type lines are what SL is based on. And we have to allow people to be creative and make whatever they feel that they want to make without a lot of rules binding the artist. I've seen some great things made by brands in SL, and I've also seen some fantastic things made for Avies on a fantasy sim that I happen to go to. There is a sim that I go to on SL, and people add on a lot of different parts onto the Avi. Many times they look non-human to the oomph degree. And other times they'll look half human or more human. Like it's a very free flowing type sim. There's not a lot of rules. As long as you look fantasy type looking, they allow it. And sometimes there might be things on that sim that offend some. Now, I myself do not get offended over such things, but there are people that do get offended, and we all know that. We all know that some people get offended easily, some do not. Are there things on that sim that some people would have a hard time swallowing? Yeah, I mean, yeah. I myself was an art major in school, in real life. I've seen a lot of stuff. I understand a lot of, of the more popular artist stance as far as like why they're creating what they're creating and what they're doing. So I'm very open to what people create or want to look like in SL. As long as they don't hurt other people, I think it's totally fine. And I have to say that this one specific art sim that I'm referring to, I mean art sim, I mean fantasy sim. It is an adult realm, but from me being there, I have learned so much about different things you could buy for the Avi, different mod items, designers, who to contact for help. I've had individuals on that specific sim help me with many of the more complex creative issues that I've ran into with mods and things like that. It's been a great experience for me to have access to that sim. I would never want to think that anybody was telling any of those individuals that they can't look a certain way because their look might offend others. I am of the school that if you are offended by what other people look like or by what other people are doing, look the other way, de-render the person, block them, or get off SL. That's where I'm coming from. That's pretty much what it is. Tell the truth, if something bothers you that bad, just don't look at it or don't expose yourself to it. Anyway, let's go on to the next issue. I didn't mean to get on a rant so soon, but anyway. The question came up in this Discord shopping channel by some what seems to be very ultra conservative individuals, that they were saying that people that wear the tune head or any type of doll type looking head should be told where they are allowed to go and what they are allowed to wear. Again, I do not agree with this concept at all. To be honest, when I dress my Avi, when I make a look, I am not thinking or worried about what other people think when they look at me or how they feel, or, I'm not thinking about that. I'm just trying to create a look that I want and that I'm using the products for that I spent real life money on and that I want to use. That's what I'm thinking. So these people on the Discord channel were kind of lumping tune heads and doll heads in the same pile. I happen to like my doll heads. I use them for fairy type looks, any type of elf type look, if you will. I also have several items that I actually make the Avi look like an actual doll. So I do that with the head, and honestly, I don't think about it. Like, I just get dressed and I do my thing. There were some, as I said, ultra conservative individuals to the oomph degree that were questioning if when they put on their own doll type looking head that they stress over how the Avi is looking, what they're wearing, the type of body the Avi has attached on to the head. Like, they were saying that they would never put something overly voluptuous on a doll type head like the Cooper body or like the Reborn body, just anything that looks, in their opinion, ultra voluptuous. Myself, I put on whatever body that I feel like putting on with whatever head I feel like putting on. I dress how I want, and I want to be left alone, basically. I just, that's my thing in SL. I have a couple people I hang out with that know me pretty well. I do my thing. I leave everybody alone. I just want to be able to use the products I got. I really like working on the Avi and making the Avi look a certain way. Meaning, I really like the fantasy look, and I like mixing the fantasy look in with the human look. And yeah, I just like doing my thing and being left alone. That's my thing. I'm just looking over my notes here, you guys, because the conversation got really crazy on the Discord channel. It concerns me that people are looking at things like this and having these type of conversations, even because it's just crazy for me. I'm trying to be careful with what I say here because of YouTube. But basically, it's being said on this Discord channel, toon and doll type looking heads should probably not be allowed to wear ponytails or curls that make it look more like a doll rather than a human. So it was that type of conversation. And again, I don't feel SL is the place to be creating this type of environment where people cannot use the hair they want, of all things, because it makes certain people look at that toon head or doll head in a certain type of way that they feel is not cool. Again, how people look at my Avi and if they're offended or not doesn't really affect me one way or the other. I just don't care. So that's where I'm coming from. And I think everybody should they could do what they want to do. It's SL. Do you. But leave me and my Avi and, what I'm doing, leave me alone. As long as I'm not hurting other people, then just leave me alone. But these conservative individuals on Discord were just really pushing the issue, and it was getting really aggressive. Those type of discussions where people are dictating certain issues and things, even if it comes to politics and stuff like that. I know things could get rather heated. As somebody that's on there to look at shopping, this conversation got way out of control. Someone should have been a mod on there. Somebody should have been, controlling the situation. I think it's crazy to get that bugged by what other people do, because like I said, just don't look at them. So I just have it written here: should standards be set for what clothing toon heads and doll type looking heads can wear in public? All right, so this was being covered also on Discord. Like, people were saying that, oh, when I wear this doll type looking head, I get stressed because, I want to make sure that, the doll's all covered up and that the dress isn't too short. I don't even recall everything people were saying, but they don't want to make her too tall, too short, body too wide, too voluptuous, too thin, too whatever. It's just, it was getting crazy. Honestly, when I dress my Avi, the last thing I'm thinking about is all of that crap. I'm just like looking at my Avi going, all right, I like this head. I'm going to have her wear this. It's like, this is the look I want to do, and that's pretty much it. But, whatever. All right, and these are things I think we should question in SL. These people that I'm referring to, they were all saying that, there needs to be more rules in SL. I don't think so, but they were saying there should be. But the thing is that if hypothetically there are more rules in SL, who are you trusting to set these rules? Like who? Who's the magic person that gets to say what people get to do and do not get to do? This is why I'm making a video, you guys. I don't want people setting rules that are those individuals on that Discord that are obviously way over conservative, like crazy conservative. Those are not the people that I want setting rules that are telling me what to do. But, we have to question the bigger picture here. Like, do they want to change the whole vibe of the platform? Do they want to take away creative control? Do they want to make everything G-rated? Like, what is it what's the end game? Like, what is it that they want? Because the thing is, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, but I believe The Sims is G-rated. I know that there's some things I've seen on YouTube and stuff for Sims that's not G-rated, but I think you have to go out of your way to buy the things that are not G-rated that, take you into adult circumstances and stuff. It makes Second Life a sucky place to be, in my opinion. Yeah. We do not want too many rules because we do not want to be hindered in our creativity. Sometimes rules make for an interesting art project if that's what you're into. When I was in art school, a lot of times the teachers would give us rules for certain art projects that we had to work with. And sometimes it forces you to look at things a different type of way, and you make something that you would not have normally made. But we don't want to make so many rules that it hinders people. That would be a travesty. We don't want that. When I was in art school, this individual made a art project in an art studio on the university campus. The university used to have certain art studios. So basically, if you signed up on a list and your name came up, that means you had access to that art studio for 7 days. And then you could promote showings of your artwork in there, and people would come through and like view it just like a real, kind of gallery type setting. So it was really cool. And I used it one time, other people used it. Anyway, this one guy used the art studio for a gallery showing. And what he did is he painted a bunch of ceramic red, and it ended up looking like intestines. And then he strung all the parts together, and he hung all these red ceramic pieces that looked like intestines from the ceiling. That was his art project. That's all he did. You walked in, there was nothing on the walls, but you looked up and there was all these red ceramic pieces that looked like intestines hanging off the walls. Whether I liked it or not is beside the point. The point is it was his vision. And if it offended you, you didn't have to go look at it. I went and saw it. Did I like it? But, that's his thing. It's not for me to say he can't do it. I myself, when I did an art showing on that same university campus, I did a photo because I was always really into photography. I did a photo of a girl in lingerie on the floor snorting diamonds. Yeah, you heard me right. Snorting diamonds. I went to the bank and I got a real $500 bill, and it was stuck in her nose, and she was snorting diamonds. That was my art project, and she was wearing a lot of diamond jewelry with the lingerie and stuff. Did it offend other people? Yeah, probably. I mean, I didn't care, but yeah. But that's what I did, and I'm just making a point that we all have to be allowed to be creative. We can't have these parameters put on us that tell us not to do things, because that does affect the art project in the end game, and we don't want that. We don't want that for SL. Is SL meant for everyone? Like, should everyone engage in SL? The answer to that is no. Okay. And because I'm not that slow to think that everyone would enjoy the SL experience. If you get that offended by what you see on the SL platform, then don't do it. But if you like the more creative side of things and, the fantasy realms or whatever, and the complexity of the avies and what you could do with them and all that stuff, if you enjoy that aspect of it, then it's meant for you. But like I said, if you don't like it, don't do it. Is there such a thing as people being too old for SL? Now, I wanted to put this down because it's highly controversial to talk about this stuff. If somebody is that conservative, if they get that offended, if SL bugs them that much, maybe they have kind of outgrown that type of platform. Like, if you just want something G-rated, let me say, if you want something less intense, possibly SL is just not your thing anymore. Maybe it used to be, but if over time it has started bugging you or what have you. Maybe you have outgrown it. Maybe you are too old for it. That's all I'm saying. Some people are more open-minded, some are not. We all change with age. All of us do. From the time that I started SL to now, I've definitely changed what I do in SL, how I look at things, where I hang out at, the people I hang out with. It's definitely changed over time. Which is normal. We don't stay the same because we're human. We don't stay the same. Maybe you have outgrown the platform. Maybe if you're that offended, just don't do it. I thought it was worth saying. I think some people think it, but they don't say it. But, we're talking about it now. So there you go. I think Second Life is not meant for everybody. It's just so hard to say why people complain about things. But like I said, it has a lot to do with being more conservative. And Second Life, for what it's worth, is not a conservative platform to be spending time on. I think that there's some people that just like to argue for the sake of arguing. And if you try to make a valid point with them, they're simply not listening. They're not interested in listening. And they're not capable nor interested in a valid discussion that goes back and forth, giving each person equal time to say something. Some people are just not interested in that. Where people complain about SL, I think you have to take into consideration that they really have other things, other outside things going on. If something like a platform for gaming bugs them that much, they obviously have other issues happening. And we all have to consider the source. I think the less rules hindering individuals on the platform for Second Life is best. I think too many rules are bad. So you guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up with that. I hope you found this interesting and that, I don't know, you're open to the podcast type talk. Because that's all I could do right now. Once I get more settled with my move, I will have a traditional setup, meaning I could do filming on SL with voice and all that stuff. I did do a test video the other day, and actually the video itself for Second Life looked fine. That wasn't the issue. It was the sound. And, so it just gets real tricky. Visually, the video could look messed up, but if your sound sounds bad, you got real problems. The sound is always the most important thing. Most people tell you that make videos, that you could get by with having crappy visuals, but the sound has to be on point. Yeah, so I'm using Audacity to do the sound, and it just sounds a lot more clear. My mic normal setup is just not working. My temporary setup right now, because I have been dealing with a house renovation and we're selling the house, so I have temporary internet set up. So for anybody that's like curious or interested, I am using Starlink. It's not perfection for Second Life, but it's okay. Yeah, and I already have my Starlink equipment set up to be sold to another individual when I move, because with Starlink you can do that. You can sell your equipment to somebody else and then they get their own password and stuff like that. So it allows you to sell the equipment. Like you don't have to keep it forever and ever. And so that's the deal. I'm just using the Starlink while I'm here at the house. Then I'm going to be selling it, and I will be making some videos after the house sells with the house renovation and stuff like that. But it's going to be kind of like on a lagged out process. I'm not going to be doing it right now because we're in the middle of it right now. It's just too hectic to be doing that. All right. So you guys, I will talk to you again soon. Take care. Have fun. Don't take shit off anyone. And I will see you next time. Bye.